In every company, there exists a lot of repetitive tasks that have to be executed. They are often based on documents, emails, or information that is available somewhere around in the company. For instance, imagine a telco company receiving 1,000 different customer support inquiries every day. Each of these needs tech support with one of the 30 different smartphone models that the company sells. Their small team of 5 employees has to scroll through all of these inquiries. The problem with that is two: efficiency in processing time and waiting time. Processing time efficiency is quite obvious. For supporting each of these 1,000 customers, email per day, each of the customer support agent needs 15 minutes to understand, search, find the answer, and write an email. This means we need 15,000 minutes a day, which is quite a lot. But waiting time is something that many businesses underestimate. If we only have 5 customer agents with a large backlog and it takes 15 days to answer, customers might get angry and ultimately move to a competitor. But also for internal tasks, this missed opportunity problem has an enormous impact. When we think deeper about the customer support instance, it's not about writing emails. First, the customer support agents have to understand the customer's problem and then find an answer in over 10,000 pages of manuals and troubleshooting guides before they can respond. This is one example of a business process where multiple steps take different data inputs, execute a series of activities, and produce outputs. All 1,000 instances of the same process follow the same flow. This is where generative AI comes into the picture. It aids us to work faster and more efficiently with text and other media. The AI can generate text, analyze existing text, transform content, proofread, and do so much more. You have probably heard all of ChatGPT by now. You can use a prompt to generate some text based on an input. But think about it for a moment. It's all influenced by a prompt. So if several people in your company handle similar tasks, they all would have a unique prompting style and there won't be any consistent output, which is not ideal for the business. Let's take our customer support example and imagine you let many different staff members use a tool like ChatGPT to generate responses. You'll eventually have differentiating communication styles, inaccuracies, and possibly even facts being communicated differently. This becomes even more critical when considering privacy and compliance criteria of businesses. They need to guarantee that the information an AI generates is actually authentic and factual, and data doesn't go where it's not supposed to go. To address these challenges, we need to position our thinking more in terms of business processes and interaction cases. Building AI applications for business is much more than just using ChatGPT or Microsoft's Copilot. You need to think about the process, templates, different AI models, and your own company data all coming together. There are many ways to do that, and one of them is using an engine. Short break here. Hi, my name is Marcel and I am from the Center for Deep Tech Innovation. I've been working in AI for more than 10 years now, so long before the current hype. We bring these educational videos to you to help you understand AI and implement your own applications. If you need support at any point in time, feel free to book a meeting with us using the link below. But for now, let's continue. In essence, Engine integrates multiple AI elements, templates, company-specific data in a low-code app interface, all nested within a compliant framework. You can either use it in the cloud, deploy it in your own premises, or even host it in an extra secure cloud. I have here an example. Let's dive right in. And Engine, you see an overview like this. It says your applications and has all the applications that are created by you before or that you use from somebody else, either in your company or somewhere else. Let's create an application that is called Customer Support Triage. You don't have to look any deeper into building an application actually with a front end or so. This is all completely generated for you. And we just have to give this application a description and say, this application helps our incoming support emails. You could also provide a logo if you want, but that's not necessary. In the end, you can decide if you want this application to be just an application for you, or if you want to share this application with other people that are in the same organization like you, like your colleagues. In the Logic tab, we can define now many different processes. And the first process that we are looking for is called assess and assign to a person. And this process takes an email text and assigns the person with the best knowledge of the field to it. This is one example of a business process where multiple steps take different data input, execute a series of activities, and produce outputs. All 1000 instances of the same process flow follows the same process. Input templates, and here a plus icon. When we think about input templates, we have to think about a process and the cases of this process and ask ourselves, what is in every case different and what is in every case the same? And the things that are different, we are calling them variables. For example, the email text of our incoming query, email can be a variable, because when you think about, we have the same process 1000 times, but the email text is always different. We can choose here in the end engine many different ways on how to use that email, or what this email is actually be. We can insert it as a text, we could upload it as a file from a dropdown, we could scrape also some other variables via a URL, or if you don't have an email but you have something different, maybe like an invoice or so, we can also do an OCR task on it, so extract data from a picture. And we do that and we save. So let's do now a very simple process. You can click here on the plus button, and for every step that you have to do is you have to first choose an AI model that you would like to use. And we have many different models that we have access to here in End Engine. So one of them is the text completion model. Text completion models are the things that are behind ChatGPT. We have speech synthesis models. So if you would like to have a text read out to you, you can use that. If you would like to use an image generation like DALL-E or Midjourney, you can use an image generation model. If you would like to translate some audio, the audio translation model might be good to you. Translating is nice, but maybe you don't want to have an audio for that, but maybe you want to just transcribe the audio, then there's also here a component for it. The last two things are rather interesting, and we will look into them a little bit more deeper later. Embedding models creates basically a way to retrieve your company knowledge or the knowledge of your client from a vector database. Database basically where a lot of different PDF documents, Word files, Excel sheets can be stored, and an AI searches for the relevant information of it. OCR, pretty clear if you would like to just scan and digitize the document. So we have here a text completion model, and the first thing that we have to do is we have to choose which text completion model we would like to use. Maybe you want to use GPT-4 or a private version of GPT-4 that you can host in your own Azure tenant. We have here also other open source models that we can operate completely on-premise without having to send data anywhere, like Llama from Meta or Mixtral. And we also have access to GPT-4 Turbo, which we are going to use in this case as our model. Then we need to use a prompt. And my prompt is now going to say, this is my email. And we insert now with these curly brackets the email text that we have in this case. Extract in 4 bullet points the key problem of the customer, the urgency, the topics related to his inquiry, and when we need to complete the inquiry. This is our very first prompt. We defined this prompt, but we have not executed it yet, because for that we need a task. And the task that we need to complete the text and execute a prompt is called the text completion task. And we have now to feed now the text completion model and the model of prompt into here. And now we save it. This is a template. We can use it many different times in many different situations like we want to. And the only thing that we need to do is we need to go to Live App and see all of our templates and fill out the template that we would like. And in this template, we have one variable, and that's the email text. So the only email text that we fill in is this example here. We see here an email about an escalation somewhere in a company. We look into this email and we are not reading it or doing anything further. We just sit here and we press generate. What an email processing application like this is basically now doing, we are executing that one prompt after we filled in the variables with the data that we just got. And we need to wait a couple of minutes, maybe a couple of seconds, but not really minutes, until we have a completion of that prompt, and we will see that we have here 4 different outputs. So the key problem is it's a primary issue that involves interpersonal professional combination with a colleague named JC. So apparently we didn't get a customer support email here, but we got an internal email from someone who hasn't worked to. Urgency, they mentioned that the issues have been existing for past months and it's a big problem. The topics related to this inquiry are communication issues, meeting etiquette, and challenges regarding collaboration. And the completion timeline is there is not really anything set, it just sounds urgent. That's a very first step in this process. And let's maybe look a little bit deeper into what we want. We said initially we don't only want to summarize this email, but we also would like to assign somebody to it. And that's why we can add here now a second step, where we use again a text model, which in this case we also use GPT-4, but you can use anything that you like. Then we use another prompt, where we say, first of all, this is a summary of my email. And now what we do now is we create another completion where we put in the output from the previous step that you see here. We are using the GPT-4 model and we say, this is my email. And in the next part, we feed in this email. And then we add another instruction that are all being concatenated and executed. And we say, now assign this email to a person. Danielle is an expert for internal HR problems. Ricardo is an expert for tech support for external inquiries. And Amy is another expert for tech support, but she focuses on iPhones. That's our information that we have. We say, give me in one sentence a description who and why we are assigning the given email to them. And that's our second step. You see now in this process, we process the email, we do some pre-processing and some bullet points, and then we make actually the decision. And now let's save this and let's go to the Live app. We use the template again, but and we use the same input over here. But now we are not only executing the first step, but also the second right after it. And you can think about this for a little bit, and you will see that you can combine now many different AI models together to build a big process. The answer that we got here is the email should be assigned to Danielle because she specializes in internal HR problems and the issues outlined pertain to interpersonal and team dynamics within the company. And in that way, we made a triage, we assigned, and we did something. Now think about, we use other models, we use other processes, it will use other data. You can freely combine them and tweak them so long until they are exactly what you want to have. This was our very first intro into processes, automation, and AI. It's part of a bigger video series. As we go ahead, we'll explore more and more about how we can build applications with AI, with different models, with processes. So stay tuned, like this video, and subscribe if you don't want to miss any upcoming video. If you need more support on your journey with AI, book a meeting with us. Link is below.